not very early, but much cooler today, which is great. Home today, got the day off work. Well, home about 10:30 from a 2-day overnight. So I stayed Monday and Tuesday in support work. So today we're going to do another look with the Natasha Denona palette. Done most of my skincare so far. So this is it. It's the mini rose palette. Let me know when you're on. I've been told that some people can't see when I'm on, or they're not getting notifications, even though they have subscribed for notifications. So I'm not quite sure what's going on. Let me know if you can see. Hey, Gamers Nights! Did you get a notification? Some people are saying that they're not getting any notifications that I'm going live. So just thought I'd double check. How are you? How's school going? Yeah, I'm literally 2 o'clock. Yeah, so like 2 o'clock UK time. So I'm literally only on about a minute. um, yeah, so very early, but it was a planned live. Yeah, for 2 o'clock UK time. So no, yeah, you're literally on time, as in, yeah, yes, you are. So you're not early, you're on time. Um, so I'm just going to start off with a little bit of skincare. Most of my skincare is done. How are you? How's school going? You're probably finishing up soon for the summer, are you? Over here in the UK, they've only got about maybe 2 or 3 weeks left, and then they're finished for the summer, completely. I know some friends in the US; they're finished already. They've been finished since the end of June, so that's a lot. Um, so I'm just doing my skincare under the eyes. Got some water. Have you got any plans for the summer, Gamers Notes, like a holiday or anything? I'll be going back to Ireland soon, but it's a lot colder. School's really busy this month. Oh wow. Have you got a lot of subjects to study for? Um, Hi Sarah, how are you? I'm good, thank you. Back from my 2-day overnight. So I really wanted to come back and do the Natasha Denona palette again because I was limited to kind of doing a work version, but there's so many pretty colors in this. I can definitely do a glowy look. Most of my skincare is done, my SPF's done. But yeah, you must have a lot of subjects, Gamers Notes, to study for. So yeah, I'm going to kind of go and do a little bit more, Sarah, of a kind of glittery look. But SPF is on. So after the primer, I'm going to be using the SPF 30 NYX Butter Glaze Soft Glow Skin Tint, and mine is an SPF 30. And it is vanilla bean butter. So they have butter, but they have their own. There's very good. I think there's 10 shades. So it's not as big as the Revolution Skin Silk, but they have 10 shades, and the Revolution Skin Silk have, I think, 20. So, but I think that the shades are quite good. Um, but Gamers Notes, when I was in school, I had like 10 subjects to study for. So it was a lot before the end of summer to study for. So I understand it can get really kind of stressful. And then you've got the homework on top of that. So yeah, I can understand your stress at the minute. But I am going to go in with, it's one of the Natasha palettes I haven't got. It's a lovely palette. Yes, it's the only one I've got actually, because I'm really like, I want to get the Bloom palette, the Natasha Denona Bloom palette. But it's like £64, so I'm waiting for a sale. But um this came out a long time ago, but I got it on Cult Beauty, and I had status points. And it's more of a, like the rose, and these are the colors that I like, and it's a little bit like the Bloom palette as well. Um, Gamers Notes, I have 9 subjects to study. Yeah, it's a lot. That was about me, 9 or 10 subjects to study. And then obviously then you're going on for like all of your exams at different days, and then you're trying to study at home. So our school just like dedicated, as it came up towards the exams, just dedicated no classes, and you were able to go into the study hall and just study and revise the entire day. That was towards the end. But yeah, I know it's a lot to take on. Um, so yeah. Um, the bloom looks really nice, and a few mini ones which I really like. Yeah, so I saw these, and there's a new Wet and Wild Always Blushing. Is that what it is? And it's really similar to the Bloom palette from Natasha Denona. It's not as big, but it's clear packaging, and it says Always Blushing. And that kind of had similar kind of tones to it. But when are your exams coming up? Um, Gamers notes. It's probably towards the end of a couple of weeks' time, maybe if you're doing exams. The Wet and Wild one looks really nice. Yeah, it's like Always Blushing, and I think it only has about 10 shades, but it looks really similar to the Bloom palette. So yeah, I'm going in with a really affordable. Leanne Mulowitz, you're the best. Hi, Leanne. Have you been here before? Welcome. Um, this is the Rimmel Fix and Perfect Primer. Last night, guys, I was fast asleep on my overnight. And like I felt like I couldn't breathe almost. And I turned the house was so hot, and apparently I was texting my friend saying, my God, the house is so warm, and she said, have you seen the news? We're getting tropical nights as well as hot days. Now tropical nights, guys, are like basically the heat and the humidity doesn't calm down at nighttime. So where we'd have usually a cool shade in the evening, there's no no kind of escape from the heat, and it was so heavy. Oh my goodness, it was just yeah, even the windows open, nothing was helping. But yes, I'm glad it's a bit cooler today. um Sorry guys. Leanne, you're the best. Anthony, Portugal 20. Okay. Leanne, what language are you? I'm from Ireland, but I speak English, but we do speak Irish in Ireland as well. I can't pronounce Fabbits Bubbins. Why spend money on makeup? You don't have to. This is a makeup channel and skincare. I studied it, so this is just something I do. I don't always put makeup on, but it's just a choice that I make. Hi, Leanne. We will start exams around 3 months. Gamers notes. Whoa, 11 people watching right now. Yes, I know. The algorithm I think is just different, but I put out a post on my channel to see what people thought about an earlier live, so I'll still do the Monday lives at 8 o'clock. But I really wanted to kind of show this palette again in a more kind of a way that we could explore the glitters and things like that without having to kind of stick to the more neutrals and mattes. How is your channel going, Gamers Notes? Your channel is amazing. You've got, you're doing really, really well. So I've done the rimmel, I've popped the rimmel on. What we're going to do now is I'll just show you a swatch on the back of my hand. So, but good luck, Gamers Notes. I know what it's like to study and have to kind of prepare and things like that, especially different subjects. It depends what it is. So this is in vanilla bean butter, and this is what I'll just show you what it looks like. It looks paler, but then on the skin it actually goes on. It blends in really well. But yes, it's the first cooler day today, so I'm quite happy about that. So I'm just going to blend that in with a Real Techniques foundation brush. But I do remember the study and the stress and everything, and just making sure, But when it's all finished, Gamers Notes, you'll have the whole summer to just relax and take a breather. I'm just going to spray because it's a little bit dry. The brush itself is absolutely fine, but it's nice to kind of, I always spray it with a little bit of mist. And this is just the Superdrug hydrating mist. So I don't know, guys, if anyone has heard of, they probably have, Riverdance, but my friend got us tickets and she didn't tell me, and apparently they're coming to Oxford in September. Now, the original Riverdance kind of cast, or whatever you might call them, from like when I was a kid, I don't think it's the original cast, but Riverdance, if you don't know, guys, is Irish dancing, but it's like a professional, it's a professional kind of dancer, dancing, Irish dancing. And there's like, it's a 3 hour show. And she was like, I thought you'd really like it. And I've never been, as bad as that is. Most Irish people have been to see Riverdance. I've never been, and it's in the Oxford Theatre, and they're in September. And she was like, oh, I meant to get it for your birthday, but I didn't know if they were coming out, because we've seen the chorus. And I thought, oh my God, it's a 3.5 hour show, but it's not until September. But she got us tickets for it, like in a balcony, so you can kind of see to the side kind of thing. But I've only seen them, I think, at Christmas when like my gran wanted to watch it on the TV. I remember growing up, it was always on. It was always, always on. And obviously in school, we had, like, it was compulsory to do Irish dancing. If you don't know what Irish dancing is, guys, look it up after this. It's definitely different, but it's something my country have done for years and years and years. And so I've never actually seen the cast. I don't think you get to see the cast, but I think it's like 3.5 hours. It's in September. Do you see the crown at the end of my name? What's that? Gamer's notes. I'm not sure. I do see it now that you say it. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Is it something to do with the first person that comments, maybe, or something like that? Sarah, I bet for dance are amazing to watch live. Yeah, I've never seen them, but she got the tickets and I was really surprised. I was like, oh my goodness. Not that I don't want to go, I just never ever. I'm just going to put a second cut on just because I can't see. I'm a bit tired and I do want the eyes to really pop today. Yeah, I mean, obviously, was it Michael Flatley who was the original one? And I don't think he's in it anymore. Bless him. I think if he was the original one, I mean, I think it started about 30 years ago. So that's that's a long, long time ago now. I don't think it's that old actually. I think it might be a bit, yeah, I think it might be a bit kind of not exactly 30 years. But yeah, so that's in Oxford Theatre in September. So she was like, book the time off work because it's a Thursday. I was like, okay, because she knows my schedule. I was like, oh my goodness. Wow. Yeah, so that will be interesting. I've kind of seen I went to see with a friend 2 years ago Mamma Mia in London, and then we went to see Moulin Rouge. I don't have many friends that actually like the theatre, which is a shame. Mum's not really a theatre fan. She loves movies and going to the cinema. Um, I have one friend back home in Ireland who specifically came to London to see Mamma Mia, and I was, because I live here in the UK now, and Mamma Mia, the original cast, I think, were on Good Morning Britain last year, but yeah, they were really good. It's really emotional watching them. It was amazing, because I think there was like a TV show where they all had to. Do you remember last year there was a TV show? I think Rylan was on it, and a few other people were on it, and you actually had to audition for the cast of Mamma Mia. So that was all the people that won or got the actual got the job basically when they auditioned. But it's one of my favorite films, so that was good. That was about 2 years ago, but I think it's still going now. If you're a fan of Mamma Mia in London, you can go and see them. Um, but yeah, Gamers Notes, I think that might be because you maybe were the first comment, I think maybe. But I haven't seen that crown before either, so yeah. But Michael Flatley, again, going back to Riverdance, I think was the original. I remember like at Christmas time and things like that, it used to be on in my house when I was younger back home. But if you've seen it, guys, or if I I didn't think it was back again. I didn't even know it was actually on. Um, so that's going to be interesting. I'd love to go back and see Mamma Mia again. But the one friend that I have from Ireland, I'm not going to get them to come all the way over just to see it again. They just, I've got friends that just, they love movies, they'll go to festivals, but like plays, theatre, they just don't. Even mum's like, bless her, she's not really a big fan, but I would just love it. I've never seen, there's lots of ones that I've never seen that I'd love to see. If you've seen, I'd love to see Chicago, but I haven't seen that. Um, Okay, I'm only putting on a little bit because actually, if you saw this, I usually have the e.l.f. Camo Concealer and Hydrating, but I've realized the Rimmel Multitasker, even though it's really, really good, it's a thicker consistency. So the other night when I looked at the live back, because I was just checking that I'd put obviously links that I said I would put, when we actually dabbed that in, guys, it came down quite far. And so this a little bit actually goes a huge way. So it's definitely a thicker consistency, but the benefit to that, I guess, is that it does stay on. It covers more area than you, and then obviously that also means that you're not using as much product, so you actually get the product for longer because a little bit literally goes a long way. Now I'm just going to go back in with that foundation brush. But if you guys like the theatre, let me know what you've seen or what you'd recommend. I don't want them to call the way back over to when they've already seen Mamma Mia. But I would literally, I'm the kind of person that if I really like something, I would go back and watch it again. Um, One of the people we support in my job, he obviously is a patient and he's obsessed with Michael Jackson, which is really strange because he was born way after, and he discovered Michael Jackson when he was a kid, and I think there's some sort of is there a tribute going on? But it's an actual, they're touring, I think, but it's not a tribute, like it's professional dancers, so they're trying to get tickets to surprise him for that. But he's severely autistic, but so socially he's not great, but like if he's focusing on one thing, he's really good. He can really focus. So he's got Michael Jackson posters, and he absolutely, his he has like a specific routine where he has a certain cup of tea every evening, and so he has a Michael Jackson cup of, so when this came on and we saw it, we were like, it would be so nice to get him tickets to it as a surprise. But that's like a professional dance company. So I don't think it's every single song. I think it's like more the dance side of things. But yes, so this is going to be what I wanted to do is just kind of really focus on the glitters because I think it's a really multi-purpose palette. So as you can, if you remember the last live, I did do a very kind of toned down kind of work look, but that's kind of a good thing because it's kind of multi-purpose. What we're going to do today is really focus on the kind of glitter side of things. So I'm just really putting my base down. We've done our concealer. Um, I'm going to set with the Rimmel 001 in transparent. I'm really doing good with that. I'm still going to go in with the Revolution bronzing drops because they are the makeup of the week. So last week it was Drunk Elephant. I mean, you don't have to get Drunk Elephant. There's Elf. There's all the companies basically now have copied Drunk Elephant. And I always say, even though I'm using Revolution today, W7 I feel have done the best dupe. Absolutely, 100%. So all I'm going to do now is just pop on some of that 001 transparent from Rimmel. And what I like about this is it doesn't take away from the color, but it sets everything. So I have redness. I don't know about you, but even if I come out of the shower, certain parts of my face will stay red, probably for about half an hour. But then I do naturally get redness on my chin for some reason. Um, Okay, so we've literally, and as you can see, if I think I swatched it the other day and I got a comment to say how pale it looked, but it is actually transparent when you go on and you set it. It hasn't taken any color away from the face, and it sets once you put on your primer. It really does last. But yeah, the Riverdance are coming to Oxford in October, or sorry, September. So that's going to be nice to see. Obviously, being Irish, it will be interesting. But also I think it's just a nice night out, isn't it? So what I'm going to do now is set the under eyes before we go in with the drops because I don't want too much powder. Can you speak Irish? Speak it right now. Okay, that was a bit demanding. Yes, of course, I can speak Irish. We had to study the whole, obviously, I went to an Irish speaking school until I was from the age of 3 to 12. And then I went into mainstream, which was English and Irish, but the entire primary school, or you might say elementary school in America, was Irish, basically. So if I say Kunasatatu, which probably sounds absolutely foreign to you, literally it is, I've just said, how are you today? And then if you've asked me and you've said, and then if you've had a good day, you'll say Tá mé go maith, which means I'm good. So that's two little things. How are you? That kind of thing. But yes, my whole school, growing up, and in primary school, mostly, was just looking for my little puff. So we're basically going to go under eyes with the Revolution Rose setting powder. So yes, so I spoke Irish most of my childhood, but also English. In Ireland, you have uh, basically 95% of the country speak English now, but you will have towns, and I'm not kidding, you could have really small towns and villages in Ireland that they still speak Irish, like they won't speak any other language but Irish. And that's very rare to see nowadays in Ireland. But it's very much in very remote kind of certain generation, I think, as well, still will kind of speak it constantly. But yes, Irish is I'm kind of fluent in that, being Irish. But a lot of people don't realise outside of Ireland that we do have another language, but we do. You can see there's a little bit there. Now that was the rose baking powder from Revolution. Absolutely amazing. It would be nice to have a sifter so that it came out kind of at your own pace, but it's got the little lid, so it's okay, and it's actually travel friendly. Um, yes, it is, and you even got the little dots. Yes, it is. Kunasató too. Yes, that's correct. That's how you say it. Yes, you're correct. Do you study any subjects? Any, and as in language? Are you studying any languages for your exams? Yeah, so Kunasató too means how are you today? If you say Tá mé go maith, it means I'm really good. And then yeah, so amazing. But yeah, a lot of people don't realize there is we do have like our own language. I think years ago it was more in generations that knew it, and now I think because English is so widely spoken, even in Spain and I mean everywhere, that is the main language now. Although they do say the percentage, the percentage, the most language that is spoken is apparently Spanish, which surprised me. But apparently Spanish is what has the biggest percentage of being spoken. So that was interesting. Um, so basically, we've just set and powdered everything. I didn't want to take away from the dewiness, but it doesn't look too oily. And I think that is to do with the fact that it isn't as hot today. I think really did. The other live the other day was very warm. And I didn't want it to, I actually think I specifically said, don't, the products are really good. It's just, it's so hot in here. And we don't have air conditioning like built into our homes in the UK here, or Ireland, because we're not used to this. We're not used to this weather. And everyone is saying it's not just a freak kind of summer, as in freak, as in like we never get this temperature. People are saying it's global warming. So whether this is going to become something regular, people are going to have to be buying, air conditioning units for their homes. But yes, I think today it's much cooler, and that's reflecting in kind of the makeup as well. So we've just kind of set everything basically. But yes, gamers knows I from the age of 3 to about 12, I spoke Irish. Obviously, I did speak English, but in school we basically spoke Irish. So that was through history, geography, maths. Obviously, is very kind of straightforward in terms of what you're learning. But yes, so what I'm going to do now is go in with those drops. And the good thing about these drops is that you can, because if you're thinking you've already done your powder, the good thing about the Revolution bronzing drops is that they don't kind of disturb any of the powder. And then we are going to be setting it with the Wet n Wild Tea Anybody, and that is the Alice in Wonderland, the Alice in Wonderland edition. So we're going to be setting it with that. So first of all, we're just going to dot this around. Now everybody does bronzing drops differently, and that's absolutely fine. How I do it and how I've always done it is I pop it on the back of my hand, and then I dot it around with my finger, and then I start to blend it in. You studied Tagalog, Arabic, and Italian. Wow. Italian and Arabic. There's such different languages. That must be a lot to study and take in. And Spanish. Wow. Bilingual. Well, that will really go for you, in the future in your career when they know that you're kind of multilingual, bilingual, however you say it. Like people are that's going to go really going to, be amazing for your career choices and things like that, or what you decide to do. And also for you, and your awareness of other, languages socially, it's going to be great for you because you'll be able to make different friends and cultures. My family did ancestry, and apparently on my dad's side there is Italian, but we haven't got to the point where, so it's gotten to the point where they've linked up the tree online where you can do ancestry, because you do your DNA, you send it away, but we haven't. So they've located kind of where in Italy these ancestors were, and then they're now trying to find any relatives that are still living. So that'll be interesting if we find anybody. But wow, Spanish and Italian and Arabic, wow, and Tagalog. I don't think I've heard that. If I'm not pronouncing that right, let me know. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, people do it differently. They can use a sponge. I'm going to go in with the Real Techniques contour brush. And I'm going to give it a bit of a spray. It's been really helping. So we're just going to do that. That's a lot of languages though, but as I say, how amazing is that going to be kind of further down the line in your career? That's going to be amazing, Gamers Nights. Just for your, the possibilities for you. Arabic, is that something that you chose? And Italian and Spanish? Was in Ireland we had like mandatory subjects and ones that we could choose freely. So for example, mandatory was Irish because that's where we're from, but we could choose French or German and pick from one of those. And I chose French, but I haven't spoken in a long time. But did you choose, were some subjects you had to choose, or some that you could get to kind of choose from an array of different languages? So as you can see, guys, it's not too deep. This has squalene, hyaluronic acid, and grapeseed oil. So this is Revolution. Anything that has a huge amount of skincare is going to be a benefit, whether that's foundation or serums, tinted serums, things like that. But this has hyaluronic acid, grapeseed oil, and it's a 23 ml. So you can get that at Superdrug. I'm sure you can get it online as well. So what we're going to do is it is a little bit lighter. So that was the whole point of going in with the Tea Anyone from Wet n Wild, from their Alice in Wonderland collection. So we're going to do that. I think, studying languages is probably a real benefit rather than a lot of other subjects. So yes, maths and, English and things like that, absolutely, and literature. But to kind of expand your whole world and your network, having different languages and being able to communicate. Although in saying that, it must be a lot of study and a lot of kind of your brain has to be 100% because it's a lot, to take in. And but that's amazing that you do all of that. Do you know what you want to do when you leave? Do you know what you want to do when you leave school? So as you can see, I've actually swirled the whole kind of thing around. And if you remember from my last live, I only stuck to this one because I knew I was going to work. But these Natasha Denona Mini Rose Palette, the colors are very vibrant. There's shimmer, so I kind of want to match that. And that's what we're doing here. So I'm just going to then go in with a bigger blending brush, which will then kind of blend all this out because I know it's kind of looks a little bit too much, but we'll go in. Again, this is like a testing the algorithm. I was requested and people said they could make this one, so but we will do it consistently. So it's going to be something consistent. So you can always, if you're on the replay, you can certainly say you're on the replay. But this is something that I had put up in my notes to say, does this suit you guys this time? I have the time to do it. So that's kind of what I'm going to do. And if you notice, I didn't go back in again for the chin. I used whatever was remaining on the brush. So now what we're going to do, all that's done is elongated the face in a little bit more. So it's giving me kind of a shape. So what we're going to do now is just go in with a bigger blending brush, and we're going to just blend that around the skin. Okay. But my family, on my mum's side, spoke it a lot Irish when I was growing up, because they went to schools that were, so there was a choice. You didn't have to go to Irish school, as they used to call it. But my mum decided to put me into Irish school because it just gave me more of a, I guess, the benefit of two languages. So by the time I got to high school, as you would say it, I had a little bit more knowledge, and if I did have to study a couple of subjects that were language, I was used to it and it wasn't overwhelming. So in the end, at the time, it was a lot of pressure, but it kind of worked out in the end. Okay, so that's it, guys. That's kind of the bronze. We've gone into all of the colors there in the Tea Anyone bronzer, and I included a bit of the highlight there, which you can see. So what we're going to do now is go into the Wet n Wild, and it's still the Alice in Wonderland. It's the Talk to the Flowers, and it's basically just the blush version of the bronze. So we're going to do that. And this is what it looks like. So you do get that highlighter as well. I'll just show you that looks like. And then you have a choice. This is a beautiful bronze. This is blush. This is berry. So we're going to, again, because we are going for that glitter, I don't mind having that bit of shimmer in the blush itself. So we're just going to swirl that around. Okay. But let me know what you guys are doing today. It's probably where you're looking from on the stream, whereabouts you are. Again, I am going to kind of go back in with the same bigger buffing brush, and we're just going to blend that out. So it doesn't look so kind of stark. And it just blends out really easy. And that's kind of we've done the base basically. What I'm going to do now is, I think I may have run out of my brow gel, a brow She Glam. Yes, I have. So today the brows will have to kind of be creative. The thing with overnights and support work, guys, is that your time is taken up, which you don't mind. Obviously you're working, but then your downtime, there's so many things you try to catch up on and you can't. So shopping for things that you might need, it's not a necessity, but yeah, I'm out of uh, my brow liquid. So what we're going to do is just be very creative, and we're going to use this one here, and I'm going to go in with my Morphe. This is the double-ended eye brush. This is the M158, and all I'm going to do is brush them into place first, and then I'm going to use this end to put the color in. So, and we're going to be using this brown here. But yes, guys, let me know what you're doing today. But yeah, Gamers Notes, that is amazing what you're doing, all those subjects. What do you plan to do? What do you have any plans of what you want to study further, or do you have something in mind? I'm bringing it up slightly. This brow is slightly lower than the other. So all I'm doing is kind of bringing that up a bit and across. Okay, and then I'm going to use the angle side of it, and we're just going to take that brown and just going to fill in my brows here. This is definitely not something I would usually do, but as I say, the time has just gone by this week, and it is on my plans to do, but I haven't been able to get another brow product just yet. I'll have to go into Superdrug at the weekend. So that's it, guys. I haven't gone too much because it is not meant to be an eyebrow product, but we've just kind of used our imagination today and gone in with that. I think it suits it quite well. I wasn't sure with the tone if it was going to work, but I think it works quite well. We can now go into those gorgeous colors because I'm really excited to do more of a glitter sort of look today. Okay. Okay, so we've kind of done that. What I'll do before we go in with the eyes is I'll just set everything with the e.l.f. gripping mist. It's the Power Grip Dewy Setting Mist. I prefer dewy. I think as you get, I've been finding that my skin suits dewy rather than matte lately. So this is the e.l.f. It's £10 at the minute, but I think it will go down in price. It's the Power Grip Dewy Setting Spray. So it's a mist, so it's not as heavy as like a spray. But I do these lives, guys, as well to talk to the subscribers and kind of find out who subscribes to me. I do love chatting and talking to people with my job. I do have friends, but I guess the other side of it is it takes up so much of your time that there's lots of kind of going online and talking like this, and doing the makeup is amazing, but I do like to kind of get to know who my subscribers are, or kind of chat to people. So there is a slight smell to that, actually. I didn't notice that the first time. Interesting. Okay, let's get that eyeshadow palette. Again, I think I've only got about 3 or 4 uses left of this. This is just the NARS Climax mascara. I think I will go probably with Maybelline again. I don't think I'd pay for the full amount. I've got 2 new eyeshadow palettes coming. They are from W7, but they're complete dupes for the Huda Beauty. So we're going to be doing that. This is, again, I did swatch on yesterday's live these, but if you want me to swatch them again, I can, or I can just put a post up. So names, let's go through the names, because you don't want to look at a product and not know what the name is. So this one here so the one I'm pointing to is Golden Rose. The next one is Opart, which is this one here. The next one is Flamingo, which is this one here. The next one is Psychedelic, which is this one here. And then the last one it says Andy. Okay, so that's those. So what we're going to do, again, I am going to go straight in with the crease this time with Golden Rose, which is right here. And we used that yesterday, but that's the first one I'm going to do. So I'm just going to find my e.l.f. This is just the e.l.f. dual-ended brush, and it's got the fluffy part. But I want to find I've got DJS Beauty, which are an American company. They're amazing. They do eyeshadow palettes. I think they're from Illinois. So we're just going to pop this on and start here and go across. And you'll see kind of how strong it is. DJS Beauty formula is very like the e.l.f. as well. And if you keep the brushes really well and wash them, um, they really do stand the test of time, as they say. Real Techniques are another really good eye, particularly I find Real Techniques and contour brushes are amazing with Real Techniques. So you can see, guys, how quick that was, but you can see the color for sure. And I find this one is buildable, so you can actually build on it, which I prefer. I prefer a color you can build on rather than it being so strong. So we're just going to go in with the white, and I'm going to just go into the inner corners rather than the whole, because we're going to be focusing on the glitter. I want the inner corner literally here just to kind of have that white. Now I am going to buff away. You'll see what I mean. So I'm actually placing it here, but I'm going to buff it away. And then this is going to really shine when we do that. So we're going to just, and this one is Flamingo. So I'm going in with Flamingo. I'm just going to keep saying the names in case you have the palette. Again, it's £24 on look from Cult Beauty. So I'm going to use the um, same brush, and we're just going to brush that away just to kind of start off. Can you see how it's just giving me a little bit more of a bright color? So we're going to use Opart, which is this one, and I'm going to swatch it for you now. This is what it looks like. So we're going right into the inner corner with that, guys. We're not going to waste our time with any matte looks today because I really wanted to do the inner corner. So you can see how bright and how glittery that is. It's in between a glitter and shimmer, I would say. I used to think this was just a pure kind of glitter, but actually both of them, this one too, which is Andy, they're both, I think, more shimmers. We're going to put both of them on, but I wanted to start off with this one, which is more of an icy pink rather than a deep pink. Okay. Really gorgeous palette, guys. And I think Natasha Denona, even for, I think £24 for a palette from Natasha Denona is still quite reasonable. We're just going to, we are going to go in with that shimmery one as well, which is Andy right at the end. This is what this one looks like. This is Opart. But let me know if you have any Natasha Denona palettes. Okay. You can see it's just really opened the eye a bit, and then it complements the white that we put here. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is just swatch Andy. This is what this one looks like, Andy. We're going to just see what that looks like at the end because I really wanted to go in just with the glitters today. You could go in with the brown if you wanted to. So basically on the end, I'm using this one, but the brown is, I'll just swatch it for you. The brown is psychedelic, and that's what that looks like. Super, super pigmented and dark, but I kind of want to go with the brighter colors. So this is Andy here, which is a really, you see how much that pops, and that, I kind of want that rather than the deep. You could certainly go with the deep, but and I'm now going to go back into Flamingo and even put even more white in the inner corners because it's really going to pop. We will buff away anything that needs to be buffed. Okay, I'm just going to use going to make sure I'm using the right brush. And just buff away anything there, but it just, I think, pops out the glitter even more. We're going to just go in it one more time with the golden rose, and we're going to just really emphasize that inner glitter in the inner corner of the eye. So that's what that looks like. This one here. Just going to swatch that again. It's like an icy pink, and I think it really complements the white we put on. Now, lashes would be amazing, guys, but for me, this is what I really wanted to get into yesterday. Obviously, I was working, I couldn't do it, but this is definitely a palette that if you use that brown instead of the pink, I used the pink on the outer corner just because I really wanted that bright look. But if you wanted that smoky eye, you could bring that brown right up and across here. I think for me, I like that pink and bright color. That's kind of what I'm going for. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to curl my lashes. Um, might do one more setting spray before we put on the mascara actually. So we've set the face and I want to set the eyes basically. So we're just going to go back in again. This was £10. I do think it's going to go down in price. The Power Grip Dewy Setting Spray from Elf. And I'm just doing one more. It's like a mist basically instead of a spray, heavy spray, which I like. And then we're going to use, so what I always do, and I often say this, for mascara and curling lashes, I use a second mirror and I look down because you have more control basically over what you're doing. And we're going to get my lash curler is from Superdrug, and it is just their London, Studio London. So just curling the lashes, and then we're going to go in with the NARS Climax mascara. But can you see what it's done already? It's kind of, even the lash curling has kind of curled those lashes up to the point where you can see them without even having mascara on. So that was the point of it. It does a lot of the work for you. So now we're just going to use, this is the tester. I got this in the Iconic 4 from Look Fantastic online. It's their NARS most iconic selling products. So it was the bronzer, the blush, the concealer, and the mascara. Not a lot of people on today. I'm appreciative of the people that are on, but there's not a lot of people on. But you can look at the channel, guys. If you're new, you can take a look at the channel. I do beauty, mental health. I do smooth. There's a lot of smoothies I've done in the past. A lot of different companies I've tried, things like that. So definitely take a look at that. And if you like that kind of content, you can absolutely subscribe. So can you see looking down? That's 2 coats. So we're going to go in again because I really want to focus on the inner lashes, the inner corner lashes. Again, I always say if people are just new watching, like, why isn't she wearing false lashes or putting on false lashes? I actually have like an allergic reaction to them. So definitely with a look like this, false lashes would be amazing. For me, I usually depend on a very kind of good quality waterproof mascara. So I'm always on the lookout. But this one here is great. I don't think I get the full version of it. But guys, I was asked to do, and I thought I'd say this here, I have been asked to do a mental health video just on day to day. So not really anything personal to me, which I'm really, really happy to do. Um, it was a request. And so if that's something you'd like, let me know. I am happy to do that. So it was just like a longer form content video. If it's something that you would like in a live, so not just makeup, more of a live discussion, I'm happy to do that too. But I can do a longer form content video on that. I have done in the past, but that has been a lot of specific to me, but then maybe relatable as well to you. So I have been asked to do it, so I'm happy to do that. But if there is something more of a live version that might be better, more interactive, absolutely. But I'll definitely do a longer form content video of that on Saturday. So that'll be Saturday's video. Okay, so this is something you take time with and build up. Obviously, mascara isn't going to give you the instant kind of result that lashes will. False lashes, you can put them on and you see the effect straight away. So this is more about really taking your time. It doesn't take too long, but obviously on a live, you're just watching me put it on. So it's probably looking like it's taking more time. But actually, if you were just popping this on yourself, probably wouldn't take as long. But I want to show you the effect. So that's why I'm really taking my time with that. You could almost use that brown, that psychedelic brown as well as, you could do that as liner if you wanted to as well. So that's kind of the 2 kind of coats. I would say 3 actually, 3 coats. So we're going to do the other one. We're going to curl those lashes. But if you see the difference, it kind of brings up the eye with having that white and need that icy pink in the inner corner. I think I recognized a lot of the colors from the Natasha Denona Bloom palette that are actually already in the mini rose palette. So there is some colors that kind of she uses in the the balloon palette as well. So you can see on that side, guys, that was just the curling. And what I wanted to say is, can you see the difference? It almost looks like I've got mascara on already. But that's the difference a curling wand can do, guys. A very good kind of quality one, particularly with the cushion. It can give you that almost already mascara look. So we're going to go back in with the NARS Climax mascara. Okay. Yeah, let me know if you're on replay, guys, because this is quite live. Okay, you can see I'm going up closer to the camera so you can really see. My photos are always in natural lighting as well, so you will see that. You'll see kind of more the kind of natural lighting, what they look like. Okay, and what we could do is bring that brown down a little bit if we wanted to. I think I've gotten with the mascara as much as I can out of it. I think we're going to have to get a new one. Again, it was a mini version, so I'm not expecting a huge amount of use out of it. But I think now we're coming to the end. So I hope that's showing up. I'm going to go back in and dip in again to the mascara. I don't usually double dip, but I've done both with the same amount of product on. So I'm just going to go in again and just to get that real effect for you guys, to show you kind of what it can look like. Okay, so we're getting there now. We're getting that kind of, I do think it's just down to the fact, guys. The reason I'm going in over and over is that I'm noticing that I'm not getting the same amount of product, but I think that's just purely down to the fact that it's a tester version and the product is probably going very quickly because I'm using it all the time. So I don't think, I think I said this before, I don't think I'd get this again. It's just because NARS are quite expensive. This was a kind of a deal I got for the price of 4 products on NARS for the price for £30. So they're iconic 4. So that means their most sold out products they were selling for £30 and you get 4. So obviously I got the concealer, the bronzer, the blush and the mascara, but the mascara I think is certainly, I think we'll leave it at that now, is certainly coming to its end. But that's kind of the finished look, guys. It didn't take long. There wasn't many on, but I think that might have a lot to do with it. Maybe people will see it in the replay. This is the look. I'm going to go one more time just with the setting spray because I'm going to go out tonight, and I'm not go out, but I'm going to see friends tonight, so I do want to kind of keep this makeup on. And I will be using the Revolution lip oil as well, but I am going to go one more time in with the e.l.f. and it's just the mist. And then we're going to go in with our Revolution lip oil. And that's kind of the look, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and let me know if you're on the replay as well. I appreciate it's a 2 p.m, maybe a bit too early, but I am trying the algorithm and I'm putting up posts literally 2 or 3 days before the videos go up, just so you have notice and things like that. So for every kind of earlier live I've done, I have put a post up kind of a day or two before that. So if you see a notification from my channel and it's a post, then it may be that there's a video going up, and that's just purely to test the algorithm. I'm available on Wednesdays as well. So Monday, Wednesdays and Sundays are days where I can do lives, longer form content. I'll probably do on a Saturday. But then the Monday, Wednesdays and Sundays are a good way to talk to the subscribers and kind of chat to you guys as well. So that's kind of the look, guys. As it's so quiet, I may go, but I will be back on Sunday in terms of a live. And then Saturday, I'll put up that mental health video that was requested. But also, if there is a mental health kind of chat or discussion that you'd like to have in a live rather than so it's more interactive, absolutely. But I was kind of requested to do that, so I'm happy to do that for Saturday. That'll be up by 3 p.m. on Saturday. Okay, guys, well, thank you for watching for those who have. If you are catching up on replay, let me know, and I'll see you very soon.